I've moved all my stuff out, called the cops, and informed my absentee landlord. I've done all the proper things, so now there's nothing left to do but share my fucked up city living story. About 6 months ago, my girlfriend and I moved into an apartment in the Benton Park neighborhood of St. Louis, Missouri. Roughly 2 weeks after we got there, her grandfather, who raised her, has a fucking stroke, and she ended up going home to Twin Oaks to take care of him. She was living with him full time until we could afford a nurse or hospice. Anyway, I'd been living in our one-bedroom apartment all alone for the last half year. It's beautiful, newly remodeled, double-paned windows, and great insulation. The best a couple of hicks-turned yuppies could want. Well, it's got a couple weird things about it. You'll see. There's only 4 units in the building on the second and third floors. We're on the top floor. The first weird thing about the place we noticed the day we moved in, the walls are paper thin. I could hear every word of my downstairs neighbors and their conversations at all times. I knew when they showered, I knew when they fucked, and I was sure they knew the same about us. It was darkly weird. The more info we had on each other, the less we actually wanted to know each other. They moved out 6 weeks ago. Then the other 2 units went vacant a week later. It was kind of weird, but also kind of awesome. I could finally stomp around, watch porn, and play Rock Band at full volume. About 4 weeks ago, things got really strange. It was about 1 a.m. and I was going to bed when I heard this noise from the empty apartment downstairs. It was really quiet at first, but sustained. It sounded halfway between a hushed conversation with only one person talking and a small motor running, just a babbling, but not quite regular drone. It freaked me out at first, but I rationalized that it was just some plumbing or the refrigerator downstairs. Something I'd just never heard over my residence farting and snoring as it rose and fell every night. I learned to live with it. I know it sounds fucked up, but when you hear it every night for a while, you just make excuses for it. Pretty soon, I started hearing a steady tapping accompanying the mumbling. Then I heard creaking. It was spring, my first in the building, so I assumed it was just the old boards under the drywall settling. Then, one night, I was brushing my teeth, and then there was a mighty dry thump right behind me. I just about stabbed myself with my toothbrush. I stayed really still until I was sure there wasn't anyone in the house. Then I rushed to turn all the lights on. That was when I noticed a peculiarity in the remodeling. On the other side of the bathroom, where I heard the thump, was the hall closet. I opened it and switched on the bulb, expecting a box to have fallen off the shelves, but it was all gravy inside. I tapped the wall between the closet and the bathroom, and it sounded oddly hollow. I started to realize that the closet wasn't as wide as I thought it should have been based on the bedroom. I paced out my feet and then with a tape measure just to confirm, and sure enough, there's about 30 inches of space in between the 2 walls that I thought were adjacent. Again, rationalization time. Surely there wasn't extra insulation to keep the bathroom warm. Maybe the walls were just thicker than I imagined because, fuck, I've never built a house. In this one thick wall, some huge fucking rat must have taken a tumble and freaked me out. No big deal. I felt a lot better at the time, even more so when it was the first night in a while without the weird noise below me. Everything was fine until last Friday night. That was when everything went to hell. It was about 2 in the morning, and I was home late from the bar, not as drunk as I wanted to be, and remembering that I had left my clean laundry in the dryer before I left. One thing stuck out as I climbed the stairs. The door to the apartment below me was closed. It had been open since the neighbors vacated. I got kind of used to seeing an empty mirror image of my place every day I walked past it. Maybe the landlord was showing to people today, rationalize. I bagged up my small little laundry and climbed down the back porch steps to the laundry room, which was really just a part of the garage, but the staircase on the outside of the building gave each floor a little shared porch. I got down there and into the little room and started bagging up all my clothes into this big black duffel bag. 2 things you should know about me at this point. I turn off every light religiously when I leave a room, no matter what. My dad used to beat the shit out of me when the energy bill was a penny over the norm. And I also lock every door behind me every time I go through it. Hell, I even lock the back door when I went down to get my laundry. I started back up the stairs, and on the first flight, I looked up, straight to my bedroom window. The light was on, and there was a silhouette against the closed blinds. I just about pissed myself, and every hair on my neck snapped to fucking attention. Then the light went out. It happened in less than a moment. 10 seconds later, I was still frozen in place and trying to figure out if I just saw what I thought I had. Rationalization lost out. Thank fuck. And I snuck down the stairs and out through the garage. I called a cab and stood across the street from the building, looking at my living room window. About 5 minutes later, before the cab showed up, the Venetian blinds parted slightly for a few seconds, like someone glanced down at me tentatively. Then nothing. I stayed at a hotel that weekend. Then a couple buddies of mine came back with me on Sunday to see how much shit had been stolen. It was all there. My laptop was still charging. My brand new plasma screen TV was present. The doors were even locked. I moved all out the afternoon while my friends were with me and I had the daylight on my side. I checked out the apartment below me. The downstairs closet had the same abnormally thick wall, only someone had hammered through this one. A big, round, jagged hole, exposing the tiny crawl space between. And in this space, flat against the wall, was a cheap hardware store ladder, leading up through the darkness to the space behind my walls in my apartment. I don't know how he got into my apartment from there. Maybe it was through the heating vents in the ceiling. I don't give a shit. All I care about is never seeing that building again. I mailed my keys to my landlord and told the whole thing to a terminally disinterested cop. Done my part. Moving on. I quit my shitty job, which might be the one good thing to come out of this. I'm typing this at a friend's house on his Wi-Fi. I was going to take this convenient time to get the fuck out of Dodge and move in with my girlfriend and her grandpa. But he died 2 nights ago. I still think I'd like to head back into the country, but I guess this is a clean slate for us. I haven't told her any of this yet, and I don't even know if I will. I said our landlord went apeshit and kicked me out. She's already got issues with security, and I don't want to add to them. But I don't ever want to live in an apartment or hear people moving beneath my feet or on the other side of a wall. Never again.